Good morning, everyone. I feel like the lighting's pretty poor in here right now, but the way it is with this hour of the morning. But what you just saw was my morning routine that I do every day. Definitely nothing exciting. Just get up around at 6:30, get dressed, make the bed, feed the birds, the cats, eat breakfast, see Ephraim off to school. And then, of course, there's always little chores around here to do, like wash dishes and maybe put some laundry in. Something that is really helpful for me in my daily routine is to have a menu of what I'm going to make for supper. So I always try to do that, and I found that if I don't get around to doing that, my days just don't go so well. With everything I have going on here, it's just so helpful for me to know what I'm going to make for supper that evening. And tonight on the menu are chicken tenders, vegetables, and mashed potatoes, I believe. And I can always switch things around if I don't want to make exactly that, but I usually stick with it. That way I can put my meat out to thaw, whatever I'm going to have the next day. In this case, I put these tenders out last night. I put them in the refrigerator, so they're still, partially frozen. I'll just leave them set here on the counter until they're thawed. So the first thing I'll do this morning is run a few errands in town. So the errands I'm running today are, first of all, stopping at the thrift store and dropping some things off. We started cleaning out the brown shop. It's where I usually paint, outside of yesterday, and of course found some things that we no longer use, so I'm going to donate them. And then I also have a few returns to make. So today my day will consist of just random things that I want to do around our home. First of all, finish cleaning that shop out. And then I have a few other things I want to work on, but I'll get more to that later. But for now, I want to tell you guys the exciting announcement. It's pretty exciting for us. As a matter of fact, it's life-changing, but it's probably not that big a deal to other people. But John actually quit his job and is working at home helping me, and it's been so awesome. It's actually been 2 weeks now that he has been at home. And I tried not to get him on this morning because I wanted to wait until I actually announce it. But right now, as I'm speaking here or driving to town, he is putting in shelves in the shop. And I'll show you guys a little more on that later. But yeah, so exciting. Can't believe this is happening. I never dreamed that we would come to this point. So here I am at my first stop. I have my towel up here on the dash to hold my camera in place so it doesn't slide around. So the next stop is a return that I need to make at the hardware. I was going to make one more return in town, but I see the store doesn't open until 10 o'clock and it's only 8:30, so I think we'll get that one later. I'll probably go home and get some things done. I'll take the scenic route home so you guys can see some pretty scenery. So I'm back home again, and John has finished installing the shelves. So impressed. He did take a few video clips of him doing this just with my old camera while I was gone. So I'll play those for you in case you're looking to do something like this yourself. Very simple shelves, basically just a 2x4 frame with a piece of plywood for the shelf part. And yes, it does look really disasterly in here at this point, but hopefully in the next hour or so I can get some of this cleaned up. Most of these items will actually be put on the shelf. So let's go up to the Etsy shop and see what MB is up to. For those of you new to my channel, MB is my niece and she works for me, does an amazing job with pretty much running the Etsy shop, does all of the packaging and answering messages among other things. I could not do this without her. I set the camera up here to get a few clips of her doing some packaging. Maybe some of you spot your own orders here. I didn't film the whole cleaning out the shop process. I figured it would be kind of a boring section of my day, but basically just organizing and cleaning up a lot of dirt. I'm almost embarrassed how it looks. It just has been a while since that shop got a good cleaning. So excited to have it organized and go out there and work. But now we're ready to eat lunch. Gonna quickly switch the laundry here. And I have some leftover homemade pizza that I had made last night. That's what we're having for lunch. We keep things simple over lunch. Just everyone kind of gets their own things. In this case, again, homemade pizza. And look who came to visit. In case you're new here, this is my sister and her family's cat. His name is Beaks, and he will stop by every now and then, almost daily, not every day, but often he's in here with MB while she's working in the shop. So our lunch today consisted of Hope's Table recipes. I've talked about her recipe book before here on my channel. One of my favorites. I think almost every meal that I make right now or these days are from Hope's Table. So if you don't have her recipe book, make sure to check it out. It's available on Amazon. I'll link it down below in the description box. But the pizza came from that book, and then also this peanut butter cream pie that turned out really good. MB just returned from Sarah's house. She's the girl that makes all of our decals for us, and she brought home this piece of furniture. I'm always so thankful when people bring me their furniture they don't want anymore. So I'm almost finished in here. The only thing I still have to do is this workbench, kind of organize it and clean it up a bit. And it is getting really hot in here. I had not mentioned the weather earlier, but we're having really warm temperatures here in Ohio. It's probably in the upper 90s maybe. And usually I'm not bothered by heat like some people are, but today it is really warm. So I'm going to quickly finish that, and I'll give you a brief tour then of what, what's behind me here. I'm just loving it. I can't believe we haven't done this before. Like, why do we push these things off? Like, once it's clean and organized like this, I just like it so much. So we'll try really hard to keep it this way. I get a lot of questions about the paint on this workbench. I painted it years and years ago. It's probably right when we moved here. And I remember it was a mist tint paint at the hardware. I got it for really cheap, and it was kind of more of a heavy duty paint. I know it was a gloss finish, and it's really easy to clean, so it's very durable. It's really held out over the years, and I'm not sure of the color name anymore, but I still like it. I don't really grow tired of it, and of course it's just, out here in the shop, it's not that big a deal, what color it is. So here we are around 2:30 in the afternoon, and John just started some weed eating, as you can see and hear. And he'll be mowing the lawn and doing some weed whacking. And MB is up in the shop. We kind of came up with a design for the one door by the workbench in the shop. I wanted something that says something about workshop, so she's working on that. I'll give you a quick tour of the shop. For the first time ever, I'm actually not embarrassed to show you guys how it looks in here. I'll jump in here and just give you a quick idea of how this shop looked before, in case you forget. I'm sure you probably saw it in the backgrounds of my videos, but definitely in dire need of a cleanup. Probably took the good part of a day to clean this up, including, making the shelves. We even had a good downpour in the middle of it. It sounded so nice on the metal roof. So there is a workbench area, all clean and neat. But I think I'm going to go with this door, use maybe this door to put a decal on. And I think what she's working on might end up being a custom decal, so if any of you guys want something like that for your workshop, you might want to check it out, but I'll make sure to show you after she has it finished. And moving back here, the lighting isn't going to be the best, but this is a piece of furniture that I just got today. And it's just a cute little chest of drawers. And these two pieces are just pieces that I eventually want to paint. probably put up in the antique mall in my booth. And back here I have a stash of old windows. It's always nice to have some around in case I need some for a project. Got some doors here and more windows. A few lanterns, which I should actually put those back on the shelf. I wanted to and forgot. There's some odds and ends of things that I want to hang on to in case I want to make something with them someday. And these wagons here, I wonder what you guys think, but I could tell, I think John thought we should just, burn them, but I was just such a fan of wagons like this growing up. This was our main toy, I guess you could say, like outdoor entertainment. It wasn't this wagon, but a wagon similar to this one. And our boys really played with wagons like this too, and they're kind of falling apart somewhat, but I think they could be salvaged. And I have this idea of someday maybe repainting them, and they come with these racks. That you stick in the side like this, and you have like a side rail, and I thought they would be pretty neat to maybe repaint someday. They're still in fairly good shape. They just need the handle thing, whatever, to pull it with. This is just a wooden one that somebody had put on here. And then I'll back up here so you can see the shelf, or the shelves. And it's kind of hard to actually make it look pretty in a shelf like this. Just so much different odds and ends of things. But it's so awesome to have a place to put them. I decided to keep this little filing drawer. I had painted it last year. You may remember seeing it in a video. I had painted it and had intentions of maybe adding a wood top or something kind of industrial looking. But I opted to keep it and put some of my paint supplies in here. Nothing fancy, but definitely a whole lot neater than it was a couple days ago. Such a good feeling. And this table or workbench used to be back along this wall, and we tore that out, and I decided to kind of keep it here in the middle, maybe use it as a workbench. And the piece that is back here, you may remember seeing this in a video last fall too, I believe. I kind of have intentions. I thought maybe I'd even get to it today to try to finish it and maybe put it on Bargain Hunters Unite or some kind of marketplace on Facebook and see if I can sell it that way. It's a pretty heavy piece, so I really don't want to lug it up into my booth at the antique mall. That takes up a lot of space, and then somebody's going to have to carry it out. But I had intentions of, originally the piece was black, and I'll try to put some pictures or a video clip of it on the screen for you. But I painted it white, and then of course these little drawers here that are in the open are still black. And I had intentions, and I think I'm going to do that, is strip the paint off, get them to the natural wood color, and I think it would make a great kind of a farmhouse buffet of sorts, maybe for a kitchen. Put some pretty pulls on the drawers. It just has a lot of storage. I imagine somebody could really make use of the piece. I'll probably end up distressing the edges just to bring some of the black out. Peeksy, no. He stalks my frogs here at the pond. Here I'm using a product called Super Strip to get rid of this paint. I'll just brush it on, leave it set for a bit, and then scrape it off. We have really been blessed this year with enough rain to keep our lawns green. It's so nice here in August to still have a nice green lawn. John is also doing such a good job of mowing it. He does a better job with it than I would. Like, he's blowing everything one way, like all of the leaves will end up down in the meadow. It probably takes twice as long. I know if it was me mowing here, I probably wouldn't do that, and it wouldn't look near as pretty as it does now. I am loving this decal, so fitting for a workshop. Ended up redoing the pliers, and I think it turned out great. Getting back to the drawers, some of the super strip had dried almost too much, so scraped off what I could and applied more of it, and it actually came off pretty easy. I'll probably dry them and then sand the rest off. First, I'll get started with the mashed potatoes, just peeling some potatoes and boiling them until they're softened, and mashing them. This baked chicken recipe is also from Hope's Table, and she had two options where you could actually fry it in a pan or bake it like this, and I'm going to try the baked version. I plan to make a simple honey mustard dip for the tenders. I'm pretty sure they're going to be a little bit drier if they're baked, versus fried. For the dip, I just mix salad dressing, honey, and mustard together. Don't follow a recipe, just kind of guess. I always like to try to wash my dishes before supper so there's not as many afterwards. Just have some frozen vegetables here to heat up. For the gravy, I just heat some chicken broth, and then I shake water and flour together in my shaker, and then add it to the broth until it's thickened. I'll throw a clip in here of us talking, although most of you probably won't understand it since we speak Pennsylvania Dutch here at home. I didn't think about it at the time, but we had sort of a fuss until we got everyone seated at the table tonight. There's always one that kind of sits there and waits for everything to be placed in front of him. Although, to be fair, he did go on a run on this hot day right before supper, so he was pretty tired from that. And one that complains about the video camera rolling, and then the seating arrangement. We are sitting at a different end of the table from usual because my computer stuff is kind of on the other end. We finally did get it figured out.
What's the fish for this? What's the fish? Chicken.
It's eating time.
The dessert is pretty simple tonight, just yogurt and strawberries, and then I have these Rice Krispie bars, which they are a favorite of ours, and I'll put the recipe down below in the description box for you guys if you want to try it. They aren't, healthy by any means, but super delicious.
Wait till this can.
Ja, was is zo'n rundschap in een kap? Ja, steel Pretty much every evening we take a 2-mile walk. There's some pretty big hills involved in this walk, so it almost feels like more. Normally I go with my sister Marlene or John. Sometimes all of us go. Tonight it's just me and John. Our Amish neighbors are having a wedding tomorrow at their house. That's what these bench wagons are doing out here by the road. If you're familiar with the Amish, you know they take turns to have church at their house. So they need this wagon to hold all of the benches and some other supplies that are needed to, host church at their houses. There's always some really delicious food at Amish weddings, so we're pretty excited to attend tomorrow. So we just returned from our walk, and now it's thundering. It looks like we might get some rain here soon. And I had stopped in at my sister Marlene's place for a bit, so it took a little bit longer, but I wanted to quickly clean my backyard pond tonight, or try to. It's always kind of a challenge. I get a lot of algae in it. I have some things that I treat it with, kind of like natural things that are okay for my frogs, but I quickly want to do that before it rains. It looks like John might brave the rain, which it may even pass over. I don't hear the thunder as much anymore, but he has an old motorcycle. It's actually a classic. He bought it when he was 16 years old. It's a 1973 Honda 4-cylinder. I thought maybe some of you guys would be interested in that. It's not a big cycle or anything, but it still runs great. I ended up taking a quick little ride just on the driveway. So I thought I'd find a peaceful spot to film my ending here. I know the lighting's not the greatest, but it's just beautiful down here. So peaceful, and I love the smell of fresh cut grass, of course. I can't get enough of these summer evenings and summer days, even though it was kind of hot today, but in the evening it cools down to just right. I'm kind of ready to go in and take a shower. I was really running around out here with the Frisbee. We get kind of crazy with the Frisbee, but it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to go in, take a shower, and relax. Often in the evening I'll go on Pinterest. Sometimes I have some shows that I watch on Netflix. Right now I'm not really watching anything in particular, but basically just go in and relax. Sometimes I'll sit out on the deck, and I definitely want to show you what it sounds like after dark here. One of my favorite summer sounds. I know I've fussed about it before, but the crickets and the tree frogs, I mean, it's just such a musical and peaceful sound. Like, it just lulls me to sleep. I absolutely love it. It's almost deafening these evenings. You almost have to talk over them if you're, outside having a conversation. It's so loud, but so pretty. So make sure to watch for that if you're into that sort of thing. And I wanted to mention that buffet that I started to work on in the shop today. If I get to it tomorrow to finish it, I'll make sure to add it to this video, even if it didn't happen today. I thought some of you might be interested in seeing how it turns out. And I wanted to thank you guys for watching my videos. I know I often say that at the end of my videos. It probably sounds like just the same thing that I always say, but really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for watching. If it wasn't for you guys doing that and supporting my Etsy shop, we would not be where we're at today with John, being able to work at home, helping me. It's like a dream come true. And I don't know, maybe someday I'll make a video and kind of share the whole journey. There's so much I could tell you guys, but I'm not going to start tonight, of course, and it's probably not that interesting to everyone. But if you're at all thinking of doing something like this on your own, I mean, go for it. If I can, anyone can. I'm not, first of all, comfortable in front of the camera, and this was not really me to kind of put myself out there like this, but I want to inspire enough that I kind of make myself do it. And I've had so many blessings since I've started this. Again, I don't want to make this long, but just thank you again for what you guys do. I so appreciate it, and John does too. We're kind of living out our dream, and it's because of you guys. Okay, I'll stop now before it gets completely dark. As always, I hope you're having a great day, and thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. So this morning I went to get poles for this piece, and I soon discovered this is a really odd size to have the holes 3.5 inches apart. I could not find one pole that fit. So I ended up getting, my options were fairly limited, but I ended up coming home with these. I think they're going to work. It's not quite what I had in mind, but I think they're going to look okay. What I needed was one where if I drill new holes, I would still be able to cover up the old holes. And I think with this one, I should be able to. It's just a little bit wider than 3.5 inches, maybe 3 3/4. And if I drill my holes directly beside the old hole here, I should be able to cover that up. So now I ran into another issue. For some reason, the bottom 3 drawers, the holes are drilled differently than the top ones. Don't ask me why someone would do that, but it definitely threw a wrench in my plans here. The only option I see as far as continuing, to use these poles, and I really want to use them, I kind of like the look of them, is to simply putty the holes. I say simply, it's not really an easy feat to do that. I mean, it's easy enough, but it's hard to make so it doesn't show that it was actually puttied. But I think that's what I'll try to do, is just putty the holes, paint over them, try to remember what kind of paint I even used last fall when I painted this piece. I'm thinking it's spectral, but not quite sure. Just hope I still have some on hand, but anyway, that's another story. But what I'll do is putty, paint, and drill again, and hope for the best. So I'll show you the end result as I have it here. I'm really impressed with how it turned out. I love the distressed black edges, and I think it looks awesome with this hardware, even if it's not quite what I had in mind. And I do love the wooden drawers. I think that really adds to the piece. I wish I had room for it in my kitchen, but I'm not quite ready to give up my buffet, and plus this one is really big. Not even sure if it would fit along that wall, but hopefully I'll find a good home for it.